It's 5:30. This is WKYT This Morning. Friends and family will gather together to remember Trinity Gay, who died after a shooting at a Lexington restaurant. We're looking ahead to her vigil.
And Lexington police are looking for a clown this morning connected to several gas station robberies around the city. We'll have the latest on the investigation just ahead.
And a Kentucky town could be the best place in the world to catch a glimpse of a solar eclipse next year. That story plus your Kentucky forecast all coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
So good to have you waking up the Kentucky way with WKYT, and we hope you had a great weekend. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. It is Monday, October 17th. Monday, but we're going to make it a good one.
We are.
And the weather is beautiful.
Oh, it's fabulous. For the next couple of days, really warm, incredible weather around here. We'll have a change at the end of the week. And meteorologist Micah Harris is tracking all of that. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Big change later on this week. We go from really high to really low. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes. Right now, we're in the 50s and 60s. And it's a nice start to the day. You walk outside, it's not one of those mornings that you're like, it's kind of chilly out there. It's not like that. It's pretty mild, 83 by the afternoon. And it's really warm for this time of year, well above average, possibly breaking a record for tomorrow. We're going to show you how high those temperatures go and also talk about possible 30s there in the forecast. Could we be talking frost later on? I'm going to go over that in just a few minutes.
All right, Micah, thank you. This tragedy beginning to sink in now, and tonight, family and friends of a 15-year-old who was shot and killed in Lexington will be gathering together to remember her. Lexington police say Trinity Gay was shot in the parking lot of Cookout, that's a restaurant along South Broadway. Police say two vehicles, the people in those vehicles were firing shots at each other.
So far, police have arrested 3 people in connection to that shooting. Devontae Middlebrooks, Chazare Taylor, and DeMarcio Taylor have all been charged with wanton endangerment in the case. Chazare Taylor and DeMarcio Taylor are father and son. All 3 will be in court this morning. WKYT's Lauren Miner is live in Lexington looking ahead to tonight's vigil. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Andrea. Trinity's death has been a tough one for everyone in the community, especially family and friends. Now, they are planning a vigil for her this evening. The vigil 4-day will follow tonight's freshman football game at Lafayette High School. That should be around 8 o'clock this evening. Everyone is invited to attend and encouraged to wear pink or purple. 15-year-old Gay was a student at Lafayette High School and was on the track team. Her friends are having a hard time coping with her death. Taylor Middleton says she was right next to Gay when she was shot. She says they were in the parking lot when the first round of shots were fired. She says her and some friends put Gay in a car and started driving to the hospital.
Trinity leans up against the door, and as she's leaning up against the door, she starts to fall asleep. That's when Alexa was like, you gotta get her up, you gotta get her up. So I grabbed her and I started shaking her and I was holding her and I was like, come on, Trinity, you gotta stay up, you gotta stay up.
Taylor says it's a hard memory to live with. The Fayette County Schools will have a crisis team here at Lafayette High School later today to help students and staff dealing with the grief. Reporting in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Lexington police are also investigating another deadly shooting. Police say around 2 o'clock yesterday morning, they were called to the Chase parking garage on East Main Street for a shooting. Not long after, they say a man was dropped off at a nearby hospital with a gunshot wound. Crews rushed him to UK Hospital, where he later died. The Fayette County coroner has identified that man as James Blair. They say they've identified a person of interest in the case, but that name has not been released.
Lexington police say the parking garage shooting death is not connected to a shooting at a nearby nightclub. Just before the parking garage shooting, police were called out to the Trust Lounge on West Main Street for a report of shots being fired there. Police found blood at the scene, but no victim. But they say a victim then later showed up at Good Samaritan Hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg. Right now, police do not have any suspects in the case. Just a very violent and tragic situation yesterday. Yeah. Well, this morning, Lexington police are searching for a suspect connected to several gas station robberies.
Police tell us the suspect, dressed as a clown, robbed 1 gas station overnight and 3 others over the weekend. WKYT's Mike Fire is live at one of those gas stations with this Crime Tracker report. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Andrea. Just like in those robberies that happened yesterday, police say a man wearing a clown mask and all black clothing walked into this shell and robbed it by showing a gun. The armed robbery took place shortly after 12:30 here at the Shell at Man O' War and Nicholas Park. Police say the suspect showed a gun and demanded money. After he got the money, police say he fled the scene. They say he may have gotten into a vehicle that was in the parking lot behind the gas station. Now, yesterday, Thornton's gas station on Georgetown Road, Speedway on South Broadway, and Speedway and Meadow Lane were all involved in armed robberies. Just like this morning, police say all three were robbed by a person wearing a clown mask in black clothing. Police say a silver or gray Chevy Impala may have been involved in yesterday's robberies. So far, police have not released any vehicle description from this morning. Now, the good news from these robberies is that no one was hurt, so that is the terrific news out of this. And meanwhile, it's back to business here at the Shell as they have reopened their doors. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you very much. Nicholasville police are investigating a deadly crash as well. They say one man is dead after his car hit a semi-truck at the intersection of US 27 and Elizabeth Street. Police tell us the semi was turning into a nearby gas station when the car hit it. The driver of the car died at the scene. His name has not been released at this time. The southbound lane of US 27 was closed for a few hours so crews could clean up. Those lanes are now back open this morning. Police are still trying to figure out what caused the crash.
The time this morning is 5:36 here on WKYT, and it is 3 weeks from tomorrow will be Election Day in America. Donald Trump is taking his war of words with rival Hillary Clinton to a new level, connecting her to a weekend attack on a GOP office in North Carolina.
The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Clinton leading Trump by 6 points across several key states, thanks to stronger support along female voters. Hannah Daniels has the latest on campaign 2016.
Offering no evidence, Donald Trump pinned Saturday night's firebomb attack of the Republican Party headquarters in Hillsborough to Hillary Clinton and her supporters, tweeting, quote, "Animals representing Clinton and Dems in North Carolina just firebombed the office because we are winning."
Burned here in the couch and the chair.
Clinton also took to Twitter, calling the incident horrific and unacceptable. A swastika and the words "Nazi Republicans get out of town or else" were spray painted outside the building.
The election is being rigged by corrupt media.
The incident came as Trump and his surrogates spent the weekend casting doubt on the U.S. election system. Top Trump advisor Rudy Giuliani claims Sunday Democrats could steal votes in inner cities.
If you want me to tell me that I think the election in Philadelphia and Chicago is going to be fair, I would have to be a moron to say that.
Trump's own running mate, Mike Pence, was more cautious.
We will absolutely accept the results of the election.
Clinton still faces challenges of her own as WikiLeaks continues to publish more emails it links to her campaign.
You can't assume that they're all accurate.
The latest batch released yesterday shows Clinton aides struggling to respond to the LGBT community after the Democratic nominee praised Nancy Reagan last March for starting a national conversation about AIDS in the 1980s. Activists have long criticized former President Ronald Reagan for his so-called slow response to the crisis. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Clinton immediately tweeted an apology after her initial remarks at Nancy Reagan's funeral in March. Clinton is off the campaign trail today while Trump holds an event in Wisconsin. The candidates are set to meet face-to-face in their third and final presidential debate this Wednesday in Las Vegas. Well, this morning, Richmond city leaders will swear in their newly appointed police chief. Former Frankfort Police Lieutenant James Ebert will be the new police chief. The ceremony will be at 9 o'clock this morning at Richmond City Hall. The event is open to the public.
Well, even though we're having a warm October so far, don't be fooled. That calendar keeps flipping the days by, and many boat owners are starting to pack up for the winter. But over this weekend, they hit the water one more time. It was so warm and nice out there. Some families in Pike County told us that weather like this may not last much longer, and they want to enjoy it while they can before they have to put their cover on their boat and store it for the winter.
We know that when the weather gets bad, we'll just have to cover it up and store it for winter.
Pretty weather, enjoying fishing. My kids caught a few bass and bluegills. And
good fishing weather, it sounds like. Fish Trap Lake in Pike County is a flood control lake, and during the fall and winter, the water level gets too low to have boats on the water. But it looks like a good time, and some folks getting those last hurrahs in.
That's right. I was kind of surprised they're still out there, but good for them.
Yeah,
The weather was
and
great.
You'll notice some who have pools still have not covered them.
That's
so
right.
they're able to get out there and enjoy a few more days anyway. All right, a total solar eclipse has not been visible in the United States since 1979, but a Kentucky town could be the best place in the world to catch a glimpse next year.
Hopkinsville is being called the best place to view the next total eclipse. Former NASA astrophysicist Fred Espinock brought up the subject spot during a presentation at U of L. He says people in Hopkinsville will see the eclipse for the longest, as long as the clouds don't block the view.
That only lasts for about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 40 seconds from Hopkinsville. But during that period of time, the sky grows dark. You can see brighter stars and planets in the sky.
Espinock says you need glasses or a pinhole projector to view the moments before and after the total solar eclipse. But when it is completely lined up, you can see it with the naked eye. And I looked it up just a second ago. That will be on August 21st of 2017. So mark your calendars now and be ready for it next year.
There you go. You know, a lot of folks already are getting reservations for out there.
I know.
The local Chamber of Commerce is pushing this along. You
I'm
know?
sure they are.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe You're So Vain, second version will be written, right? You know, that's what I always think of.
Good one.
Total eclipse of the sun. 5:41 is our time on WKYT this morning. Let's check live drive traffic and see what's going on. There are the temperatures throughout the region, so it's a nice morning out there to kind of roll your window down and take in some fresh air as you head along. Clear skies, should be a beautiful day.
And here is a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live drive cam. We are looking at Limestone and Virginia Avenue this morning, and things are moving along quite nicely. As you mentioned, the temperatures are good.
They are.
We don't know about those drop times, but we're looking good.
Yeah, some folks with convertibles have those tops
Right.
down as well, and that'll be the case over the next couple of days. And
Right.
this weekend, we're going to watch those drops. More news coming up for you on WKYT this morning. Right now, our time is 5:41.
Still ahead, a Minnesota couple makes possibly one of the cutest swaps for their wedding day. They trade in flowers for puppies. That story after Micah's forecast.
Looking at 50s and 60s this morning, 80s by the afternoon, not only today, but the next few days. When does that cold air slide on in, and when do we see some rain? We do have it in the forecast, so I'll have that coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's a pretty good look across the region, 50s and 60s early this morning, and absolutely nothing going on. Could you have a little fog? And some locations, but for the most part, it's looking just fine. Actually feels really nice too as the kids are taking off out the door. I don't see any problems there early this morning. Later on this afternoon, it's going to be abnormally warm. We're talking 83 this afternoon and staying dry. Then we hit your Tuesday, Wednesday. We're still dry and still seeing those temperatures rise each and every single day. Add some wind to that, 15, 25 miles per hour. If you're not a fan of the wind, it looks like we're going to have that today all the way through your Wednesday. And then a blasting cold front comes rolling on through on Thursday and Friday. So until then, we're going to be dealing with some abnormally warm temperatures. Normal highs typically this time of year are at 67 degrees, typically. Not going to be anywhere close to that. But could we be breaking a record? Well, Tuesday's record is at 87 degrees. Our forecast high is at 85. There is that possibility. You got to remember, when you have this wind flying on in here 15 to 25 miles per hour, a lot of these models, weather models, they don't have a good handle on the temperatures. And believe it or not, I'm actually going on one of the higher end of things at 85 degrees. So it is possible that we could reach 87 degrees there for a high tomorrow. Either way, though, trust me, it's going to be warm. Now, that record actually happened back in 1938. You put that together, that's a 78-year-old record that we could break tomorrow. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had temperatures like these, and it looks like we could break that tomorrow. That cold front moves through on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, it'll be more about the rain than the temperatures, but on Friday into Saturday, you're talking pretty chilly air. Upper 50s, lower 60s, and overall lows, overnight lows, possibly some 30s, upper 30s, lower 40s. It's going to be pretty chilly as we actually see that contrast and temperatures. Check out this. This is from my Twitter page, Micah Harris WX. I always show off some really cool pictures over the weekend, and any pictures really that you send me. The Hunter's Moon was this weekend. The super moon was this weekend. It was bright and shiny there in the midnight sky, and boy, did it look good the past few nights. And even yesterday morning, as I woke up, it was setting there in the west. It's gorgeous out there as that full moon rolls right by us. There you go, heading off through the next few days. Today and tomorrow, we're talking low to mid 80s. That goes for your Wednesday too. Now, I'll put a chance of rain in there on Wednesday. It's not so much about the rain Wednesday, it's more about the temperatures because you will have a chance of rain, but obviously it's relatively small at 30%. And most of that's going to be far northern Kentucky, so it won't affect most of us. It's really that Thursday and Friday we start to see some changes in the forecast.
Looks like that cool air comes in 2 waves, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Here it comes.
Right. But we'll enjoy the warmth while we have it.
While we have it.
Nice. What about that? Maybe a record tomorrow. Well, this story will get your Monday off to a good start. We want to show you one Minnesota couple made their wedding day pretty unique, and they also had one of the cutest flower bouquets that we've seen.
Yeah, they really did. That's because they swapped petals for puppies and held rescue puppies for their pictures. Catherine and Brad Zemer had a great idea. They both support Secondhand Hounds in Minnesota. It's an organization that rescues dogs for kill shelters. Now, we don't know how many of these wedding puppies were adopted, but I know, me personally, I would have to keep them all. Oh, look, even the little ones.
They had one.
Oh, that is a great idea. Because you know people at the wedding are like, that's your wedding gift right there, your wedding favor.
When the bride and groom kissed, they had a little competition.
I know.
One of those,
look at them. Nothing better than puppy breath. Oh, it's the cutest.
That's cool.
Love
All right.
it. Love it.
Yeah, it's good to have you with us Monday morning on WKYT. That caps off your weekend. Right now, we're ready for Monday, and we have a lot more on the way for you.
Coming up, you'll get a look at the stories making news at this hour.
We're going to look at traffic again. We'll see how things are moving along early on this day. We will have some health news and a lot more. It sure is good to have you along here on WKYT. Good morning. Welcome back in WKYT this morning. We're live on the air at 5:52 on your Monday.
Let's take a look now at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
Well, tonight, family and friends of a 15-year-old who was shot and killed in Lexington will be gathering together to remember her. Lexington police say Trinity Gay was shot in the parking lot of Cookout, a restaurant along South Broadway. The vigil for Trinity is going to be held this evening following tonight's freshman football game at Lafayette High School. It's expected to be around 8 o'clock or so. Everyone is invited and encouraged to wear pink or purple.
Lexington police are looking for a person who they say dressed as a clown and robbed several gas stations. Overnight, police say the suspect robbed the Shell gas station on Nicholas Park. Off of Man of War, the suspect also robbed 3 other gas stations over the weekend. Police say the suspect in those cases was also wearing a clown mask. Police think a silver or gray Chevy Impala may be involved in the crimes. Topping your national headlines this morning, a military operation to recapture Iraq's second largest city from ISIS control is now underway.
That story developing right now. The country's prime minister announced the start of the offensive in Mosul earlier today, saying forces with the Iraqi army and national police will make an effort to avoid civilian casualties. And U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter is praising the move, calling it a decisive moment.
In politics, Donald Trump is blaming Hillary Clinton and her supporters for a weekend attack on the GOP headquarters in Hillsborough, North Carolina. The Republican nominee took to Twitter last night, saying the quote, "Animals representing Clinton and Democrats firebombed the office because we are winning." Clinton also tweeted out a message Sunday afternoon calling the incident horrific and unacceptable.
The comments came as Trump and his surrogates are continuing to cast doubt on the U.S. election system. Top Trump advisor Rudy Giuliani claimed Sunday that Democrats could steal votes in inner cities, while Trump's running mate Mike Pence said the ticket will accept the outcome of the election. Trump and Clinton are set to meet face-to-face one more time. Their third and final presidential debate will be this Wednesday.
I'm going to wait up and watch that one,
It's going to be, once again, it's a late one for us.
I know, but we're going to do it.
How can you miss it? Yeah,
I
right?
know,
Yeah.
you have to. All right, well, a new study shows that children in foster care have more health problems. That tops your morning health headlines.
A new study in pediatrics is suggesting that children placed in foster care were 6 times more likely to have behavioral problems and 7 times more likely to be depressed. Doctors say early life experiences may play a role in their findings. Babies born to women over 40 using assisted reproduction have fewer birth defects. That's according to Australian doctors who found infertile women aged 40 and older using techniques such as in vitro fertilization had less than half the rate of birth defects of fertile women of the same age.
Scientists at the University of Utah looked at what Americans are tweeting about when it comes to food, and coffee comes in at first, followed by beer and then pizza. Communities posting positive tweets about healthy foods, we're more likely to be healthier overall. So that makes sense.
Oh, there you go. Well, coffee gets its whole day part, you know.
It really does.
Here in the morning, right?
I'm guilty of tweeting about coffee a few
So
times.
am I. First, some coffee, right?
That's right.
All right, it is 5:55 now.
Let's get a check on today's traffic trouble spots with live drive traffic, and we have the travel times now.
And they look good. We have actually just a little bit above average speeds going out there. It's clear. Everybody moving along fine from Nicholasville, Versailles, Paris, Georgetown, Winchester, Mount Sterling. It's a good ride in this morning.
And here is the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live drive camera. Right now we are looking at Nicholasville Road and Roget Drive. Everything moving very smoothly. Still quiet on this Monday morning.
For now.
For now.
It'll pick up very shortly. And a beautiful morning to be heading in, and whatever you have planned for the day, we're anticipating a couple of warm days.
That's right. And changes are on the way. Let's head over to Micah Harris for an update.
Boy, some big time changes. Not so much today. Today, tomorrow, and your Wednesday, they're all pretty much the same as what we've been going through just the past couple of days. This weekend was really warm. And believe it or not, it actually gets warmer later on today and often through the next few days. Defender Radar Network, nothing going on this morning. You're good to go there on the roads. I'm not hearing of any issues whatsoever. 54 degrees right now in the London-Corbin area. And then you work your way northbound, 60s actually, central and northern zones. And by the afternoon, we're back in the 80s, in the mid-80s this time around with breezy conditions. We're going to go over that and also talk about those big drop of temperatures. You about to take off? Have a good day. If not, stick with us. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.